Beer is the most popular alcoholic drink in New Zealand. Every year we drink 71 litres per person. That's 18 dozen each every year. That's a lot, but it's a lot less than the 151 litres or 38 dozen that were put away for every person in New Zealand back in 1989. The mind boggles. So who makes all that beer? At the moment, around 90% of all beer in New Zealand is brewed by our two largest breweries. That'd be Lion Nathan and DB. But that huge market dominance might be about to come under some serious pressure, thanks to some game-changing Kiwi ingenuity. Tristram Clayton with the invention that really could turn the global beer brewing market on its head.
A lot of people like a beer, but this man's love of beer turned into a brewing obsession.
You pasteurize 6 litres, so use that hot liquid to blend the dry malt extract in the liquid.
With his home brew kit, Santiago Aonrato's just won an International Beer Award.
I still remember the day Ian called me and you want to hear the news? And say, oh, probably got I don't know, a mention or a gold, bronze medal or something like that. And when he said gold, it was unbelievable.
Santiago won his gold medal at the Asia Beer Awards held in Singapore. The beer he entered was a Pilsner, the largest, most fiercely challenged category in the competition. And amongst the 45 other entries, some of the biggest names in the business.
It's a worldwide competition, and some of those beers that you see in the shelves in the supermarket were actually gold, silver or bronze medals.
Quite mind-blowing. It must be mind-blowing for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, to the point that I don't want to think about it too much because, you know, you can get confused.
So how did an Argentinian-born home brewer living in Mission Bay in Auckland produce the best Pilsner on the planet? The answer to that can be found on the other side of town.
This was the first prototype, prototype 1. It proved a couple of the concepts I needed to prove.
Ian Williams is the man behind the all-in-one personal brewing machine Santiago used to make his award-winning beer. 3 News did a story about him and his invention a year ago.
Beer's fantastic. No idea it came out of a homebrew kit.
Yeah, it must be fantastic. I finished it already.
It's fantastic. You know, if you can do it at home yourself, why not?
We had over 200 offers for distribution from 50 countries in about 17 weeks.
The secret was out, but it was Santiago's award that moved the project to a whole new level.
How big is this?
Huge, huge, huge. Just totally validated me selling the house for this, you know, and the sacrifices the family have had to make and all that sort of thing. We beat on average $45, $50 million breweries. So we actually beat $2 billion worth of capital, plant and equipment. In this competition, the Pilsner, Bitburger won it 2 years ago. That's the 3rd biggest German brewery. They've been making beer since 1817.
Ian says Santiago has what he calls a brewer's thumb, the ability to tweak the base ingredients of beer to produce something magical.
I tasted his beer, it was really good. It had that really German maltiness because we'd used those 2 German malts, which was Santiago's idea. I'd sort of focused on the hops and the yeast a bit more, so, you know, it was good that he suggested that. Really beautiful biscuity, kind of slight toffee grainy notes to it.
But of course all that careful ingredient tweaking would be meaningless without some serious brewing equipment. And this is where Ian gets really passionate.
This is the only brewing system in the world where the beer isn't moved. And we stick to proper brewing principles. So the beer's not oxidised. And that's really significant, and it's one of the reasons we probably had a shot at winning this gold medal.
Not having to move the beer also solves one of the biggest problems faced by so many home brewers: flat beer.
When I analysed that as problem number 1, I said, well, why don't we turn this into a pressure vessel where this baby here controls the pressure during fermentation. We just have it at 1 turn during fermentation and the 10% stays in, hits a spring, and then the 90% comes off, but it's all carbonated on the first day. So that whole bottling has been eliminated.
And that means high quality beer can be made incredibly quickly.
And how long has it taken?
7 days. So then what you've got...
7 days
total.
From where to go?
Yeah, so 4 days fermentation, half a day cooling, and 3 days cold maturation and clarification at the same time.
And you haven't lost anything in quality. Beer doesn't need a long time to become a great beer.
Beer is like bread, okay? It's best fresh. It's not like wine, best aged, right? It's the opposite. Half the beers in this country are made in 6 to 7 days, right? From one of the big companies. Guinness is made in 5 days.
So you've got the best beer in the world. It takes just 7 days to make, and you can brew it in the comfort of your own home. No wonder Ian's so excited.
It's just going to be huge. So it's like all, you know, but we're like where Apple were in 1977 when they just did whatever they did.
It's a big call comparing yourself to the most valuable company that's ever existed, but the numbers are compelling. The global beer market is worth more than $400 billion a year. And in New Zealand at least, 1 in 3 Kiwi males have at least dabbled in some form of home brewing.
If we could get 1% in each beer country in the world, it's a $1 billion business.
Right.
Ian already has over 450 people waiting for a machine, and that's with no advertising and a current price tag of $5,500.
If we had a sub 1,000 model, say in a decade's time, 2022, because the beer is $7 a dozen, so it's 1/3 the price of supermarket beer, the payback's in months, and you're getting a fresher product, and you're having the hobby and the fun. So you have to actually, I think in the future, you'll have to have a reason not to buy one.
Should the big breweries be worried?
I don't know. What's 1 or 2% of the world beer market worth to them? You know,
You'd take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. You'll see. They'll probably be worried in about 10 years' time.
In case you're wondering, 1% of the world beer market is $4 billion. But back in Mission Bay, world domination is the last thing on Santiago's mind. He's more focused on self-preservation.
It's really good. You know, you need to have some self-control, to be honest.